Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, proud to be the world's #1 community for brilliant childcare leaders. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Elif Childcare Insurance. Give Blake a call at 972-232-2258 to get a free quote on childcare business insurance today. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Welcome to episode 72 of the Childcare Genius podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre. It's the last episode of 2023. We've recorded 50 podcast episodes this year and had a whole lot of fun doing it. This is episode 72, and we did 18 episodes in season 1. So this is our 100th episode recorded ever, and we are excited about that, our 100th episode. So we are excited to announce again our Childcare Genius Conference in Las Vegas. Tickets are for sale right now. You get $100 off the ticket. And we have a Black Friday sale going on through the end of the year. So if you want to get tickets, price is going to go up on January 1. So do it today. $4.99 for owners, $3.99 for directors. ChildcareGenius.com. And it's the most advanced childcare conference in the world, bar none. Most amazing experience. So we'd like you to buy your tickets today, and you're going to save some money. But if you don't want to save money, just wait till next week, and you can pay $100 more a ticket. We won't mind. But if you want to save the money, buy it today. So today's guest on the podcast today is Michael Braswell. Michael is a center owner in San Antonio, Texas area, and he's also the Vice President of Business Development and Coaching on the Childcare Genius University team. He's one of our featured speakers at the Childcare Genius Live Conference coming up. He's an amazing person. I've coached him for years. I've coached his mother for many years, and I look forward to hearing from him today. He's just a overall great guy. So let's go ahead and get Michael on the line. Hey, Michael, welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast. How are things in Texas today?
Sunny and 70 and December 20th, so it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's actually the same in Maine right now. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Do you believe me?
No.
All right. 25 and sunny. I mean, that's close, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're excited to have you on. You're a recent new addition to the Childcare Genius University faculty. You're the new Vice President of Business Development and Coaching. We're excited to have you on. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But I'd like the audience to get a chance to get to know Michael like I have. I've known you for a few years now. I knew your mother a lot better because I used to coach her. But maybe you could tell the story, like how you got involved in the childcare business, and you and your wife, and a little bit more about your program.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't by choice. I kind of just, I wouldn't say fell into it. It was just, I was needed at a specific time. So it all started, I'll kind of go back to how Mandy was the first one to get involved with the childcare business. I was always sales, business development. Then I went to go work for the hospitals, and then I was in IT. And then when Mandy and I got together and got married, we were a blended family. And she started having baby fever. All of her cousins and friends were all having babies, and our kids were grown, so it was like, why don't you try working at my mom's nursery? And so she left a very lucrative job to go work, and because she loved babies and she loved children. So, that was the first step, was fostering that. Then fast forward a couple of years, Mandy worked her way up, became assistant director. And then it was right when COVID hit. My mother really started, and you were coaching us prior to COVID, or you were coaching my mom. I wasn't even in the scene yet. It was when COVID hit, and my mom needed some help. She didn't know how to communicate, through disaster. And it was something that, something I could bring from, being in mission critical hospital environment all the time. Everything was mission critical. So basically, just informed her that as long as we communicate with the customer, we need to communicate with the customer, regardless, even if we don't even know any new facts, we need to make sure that we're at least keeping that communication open, because the parents don't know anything. So they don't know anything about what's going on, and they're just, questioning things. So while I was in there, I also was able to look at all of her operating spend. And due to the fact that, we had to drop down immediately from 60 babies to 19 children because of essential workers only. I was in there to just help her reduce her operating costs. So I was able to drop her operating from about 15,000 to 5,000, and get her through that tough period. It was during that time when I kind of was like, she was, kind of exhausted. My mom, she's in her 70s and was looking to retire. And I said, well, why don't you let Mandy and I buy you out? So we ended up getting a third-party evaluator to come in to be fair and impartial, to basically assess the value of the business. We bought the business, and Mandy and I took it off from there. So it's been great. I kind of kept up, still working in the hospitals for a year while we were doing both. And then it just really realized how much we could grow this thing and how much better we could make it. So I came on full time. And then you've been coaching us ever since. So does that answer your question fully?
It does,
Yes.
Michael. And you know what I like about you? And of course, I've known you now for a while. I knew Mandy before you, and of course, your mom before that. Is you went all in. You didn't like put your toe in it. You're like, you know what? I'm going to quit my job, go full time, and be there to support my wife. And you did, and you turned this thing around. You have pretty much, the school is full, and you're profitable now. You're doing extremely well. Looking for center number 2, and you've been we've been coaching for a year, and you and Mandy are both dynasty level members of our coaching group, and with that comes a site visit. So Carol and I got to come out, spend an entire day with you and Mandy, toured your school, look for some of the holes in your program, the hidden blind spots. Tell our audience like what you got out of our visit with us coming down there, and how that made an impact on our coaching.
Well, for me, I don't know. I haven't toured other facilities. I don't know how everybody else is. I mean, I know that, somewhat from seeing some of our competition around here, but having you guys come in, you've seen schools, you've worked with a lot of different owners, just being able to identify those holes. I mean, when you walk into an environment every day and it's the same, and the environment, there's certain things that you just get blinders to, that an outside perspective is huge. And we were extremely excited about the visit, because we thought we had been doing all of the right things. And, there's only, and in the coaching, there's only so much we can talk about, but you coming in and seeing firsthand how we're operating, how our staff is operating, how, just curb appeal, the shapes of the playground. I mean, it was having it pretty much validated everything we had been doing. Because again, we were looking for holes on how we could improve, and there were areas that we could improve. And then some of the areas, hey, we had it down packed. So, I mean, it was much more of just a confidence booster of what we had already been doing, and a validation of what we had been doing.
For sure. We enjoyed, it was our first trip to San Antonio. We wish we would have got to spend a little bit more time. We couldn't get down to your river walk because it was just, they had something going on down there, which makes it so we have to go back now. So we'll have to twist our arm to come back and visit you, and visit your second school when you open that up here shortly. We just loved being down there, and you run a really good program. There were very little holes, but we helped you with a little bit of tweaks. You've already implemented the suggestions, and you've become more profitable out of that. So we quite enjoy it.
Michael, what did you and Mandy get the most out of your first year of coaching with us?
A lot of it was confidence. I mean, again, we can see what we're doing, and, we can tell we're profitable, but is it just a glitch for right now, or is it for the long term? And you guys have been in it heck of a lot longer. Sorry, pardon my language. Heck of a lot longer than we had. And so having, I'm sorry to say it, but seasoned veterans in the industry come through, and then also help us throughout the year. I mean, I remember the one
Did he just call
call.
us old? That's code word for old, is it not?
No, seasoned is much better, much better. But the so
When you
All
say
we're
right, all
it's
right.
all
stink, it's not old, right?
yeah, no, but when we were able, like, I remember Mandy and I having, as a couple, we have little, sometimes I get in her lane, sometimes she gets in my lane. We learned a lot about working together from you and Carol. And then even the communicating. I mean, it's been huge. But I remember the time that something happened, and I guess I thought we were at a different place than what we actually were. And then when I questioned her about it, we really got into it. We were immediately able to pick up the phone. I think you were in Portland or you were in somewhere. You picked up the phone and said, "Hey, I'm on a site visit, but what can I help you out with?" And we laid it out for you right there. And what could have really turned into a very bad situation between her and I, and maybe even triggered a fight kind of thing, we were able to iron it out, look at it from a business perspective, take out emotion. You pretty much broke it all down. And it's stuff, it's like with any coaching program, you pretty much know. However, having that third party, unbiased third party be able to say, "Hey, this is what you need to focus on," it does pull you out of your own way sometimes.
Yep,
And
and we
that's,
were in. You're right. We were in Portland Airport parking garage, and you
yeah,
called me that you had an emergency, and we were on the phone within 5 minutes. And that's the dynasty level VIP experience with coaching with us. You get our cell phone number, and we're there for emergency basis. And they said, "Well, is it an emergency if you guys are fighting?" 100%. Because this is something that could create a problem, and we try to solve those things. And we work with couples on improving their lines of communication, i.e., making their marriage better by learning how to stay in lanes and how to communicate. Carol and I, we're not perfect, but we pretty much got this thing perfected as far as lanes, and that was through a lot of fighting ourselves and a lot of trial and error. What else is a lot of?
Oh, just a lot of Brian stepping on my toes.
Yes, it was
oh,
always me. And they're talking about me getting, lanes. She's always staying in her lane. I just kind of I like to bump her every once in a while. Look at how gorgeous she is. She just, once in a while, I just like to, just kind of bump into her a little bit, and we just kind of ride in there. But, and all kidding aside, it's dangerous for couples to not have clear lanes established when they're working together. Carol and I have worked together 24/7, 365 for over 20 years. And it is not easy. And this was new for you, Michael, working with your wife, being there every day, not getting on each other's nerves or getting on each other's nerves,
Mhm.
and finding out how to, when challenges come up, whose lane is it? As the guy, I tend to want to fix things. And I know you're a fixer too. And sometimes that runs contrary to the way the wife, both of our situations, the way that it would run. And we try to run it more of like, at least I try to run more like a military operation. You probably try to run yours like a corporate because you're a corporate guy. And that just
yeah,
does not work at childcare centers. And we end up doing more damage than good. So sometimes it's better off to I shut my mouth and let Carol just handle it. And it always works out better that way. So I've learned to just zip it, let Carol do it. And if she needs my help, then she can come ask. And I tell you, things are a lot better now, aren't they?
Yes, for sure.
That was genius of me to let you run things,
It
right?
was genius of him to realize that I can fix things. He doesn't need to fix
And I don't let Carol do
yeah.
anything. Carol's her own woman here, and a strong woman at that. And I learn from you each and every day. Sorry, Michael, we're just having a little
No,
love
no,
fest.
I completely understand. And honestly, I've been learning from you in that aspect because I'm a powerful force well, pretty much always. And I don't want to step on her toes, but I do it inadvertently so many times. And y'all have opened up my eyes to a lot of the missteps I've been taking in the past. So thank you.
We've heard couples tell us, I would never want to spend all day working with my spouse. I'm like, I would never not want to spend time working. I enjoy working with her. I enjoy being at home. And I could see my grandkids when I want and do things. But Carol's her we have different offices in our house, and she's across the hall. If I need anything, I'll go over to her place, and she'll come over to visit me over in my little office, and we keep our separate, and we keep our own little lanes, and we don't cross the beams, as they would say on Ghostbusters. We know what not to do and what to do,
Yeah.
and we're an amazing team. Now, that being said, it's something that we teach inside our university is working husband and wife together. I think that's why when you go to our conferences, there's 40% men in the room, because we feel like, we're a part of this thing. Men can do childcare too, and we do it really well.
And that was one thing of this, in the last conference, from other previous coaching organizations I've been part of, it was huge. There were a ton of men there. I'd never seen that in childcare. I'd never seen that in any other type of conference. So it was good. And even the networking, amongst the husbands was awesome. I mean, it was good.
Yeah, that conference in Jamaica. I think it was the best one I've ever been to. I've heard that from a lot of different people, and it was nice having other men to hang out with. I'm just not used to that. That was actually my favorite part, being able to hang out in the pool with other guys that are in the same boat as I am, helping their wife out build the school. And in some cases, the men were the one building the school, and the wives were the one doing a different career, which
Yep.
is different too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Now, Michael, during that conference, how I really got to see your potential is we asked some of our members to do what we call 15-minute talks. And in there, we gave you a topic and we asked you to talk on it, something that we know you're specialized in. And you kind of blew us away with how good you are speaking in front of people when we asked you and Mandy to come up on stage. And I was saying, you know what? I said, I was so impressed. And I was shortly after that, I was like, I got to have this guy on my team. And I know you were like looking around. You didn't want to be a coach. You never asked me, but I know you were probably saying, you know what, I need to maybe my different direction. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. You tell me how, when I called you up and said, hey, would you like to coach on my team? Tell me what was going through your head.
Well, so when I first took on just doing the center and, quitting corporate America, there was so much that needed to be done. And so from, putting out all the standard operating procedures and actually before I start going into that, I'll back up because when you called me up, I was completely surprised. That was, I was in a hat. I was like not prepared to present at all. And then when you called us up and I had to come up with something on the fly, it was fun. I mean, I love talking. I mean, that's apparent. But but yeah, no, I'm glad I blew you away with that because that was just coming off the cuff. Now, as far as going back to what I was saying, the coaching thing. So I'm a process and procedure guy. So once I streamlined my processes and procedures on everything from the books to, because our lanes, Mandy takes care of the children, the parents, and the teachers. My lane is everything else. So a lot of it were things that I didn't even know that I needed to be addressing, whether it be our recruiting aspects on different recruiting software or, everything from paying bills to dealing with the CPA and everything else like that. So once I streamlined my processes for everything, I freed up so much time in my week that I was becoming unfulfilled. A lot of my self-worth is driven from what I accomplish in a daily basis. I mean, I know that about me. And so whether that be going out to the garage and building something or, going out and completely fixing a process, that's what I love doing. And so anytime that we're on our coaching calls, I always pipe in because I love, or even on the Facebook page, just being able to help people. Maybe it's something that they haven't discovered yet, or maybe it's something that we talk about all the time, but it's somebody new that needs help with this. I just love helping people and I do it all the time. And when you approached me about that, of being able to, get into a career to where I could actually help people, honestly, I'm over the moon. I mean, I can't even explain how awesome it feels that I have the opportunity to do that. And so I'm excited. And even the calls that I was on this morning and, yesterday, it's just, I'm blown away that even in the first 3 days, I've been able to help a bunch of people. So I'm very excited for what this next year has to hold.
And you know what I love? You remind me about you remind me of me and where I was many years ago when I first started coaching, how fun it is taking the challenge of helping somebody through a problem and helping somebody's day to get better. Like, Carol and I just went through, our center got destroyed 2 days ago. And I've been through this with clients before. So I know I help people talk them off the ledge through the same scenario. So, but I can imagine somebody facing this challenge. It was hard without having a coach to talk to. And that's where sometimes we're the best part of their day. They have a really bad day. And sometimes we can come in as that calming voice and help them through a challenge. We've turned centers around from not profitable to profitable. We've helped people retire from jobs. We've helped people that were lawyers become reformed lawyers and now become childcare owners and quit their full-time jobs. So we're able to change lives, change trajectories of families, create wealth for people. And it's so darn fulfilling. At the end of the day, when you lay your head on that pillow, you knowing that you really made a difference in somebody's life. And Carol and I get to do that each and every day. That's the fun part about this job. And I think that's what you're going to see, that fulfilling part. And is that what you see as well?
Yeah. I mean, I'm more than excited about that part.
So Michael, if somebody wants to do a coaching call with you and learn, something you can help them out with, we have a tab on our website, childcaregenius.com. You can get a free coaching call, and you could actually get a coaching call with Michael. And he could help you walk through some issues, solve the challenge, and hopefully go away with 2 or 3 action items to help you in your program. So we're excited. You're going to be a certified coach. You're going to certified school right now to be certified. You'll be a certified coach here in the next month or 2. We're excited about that. And I expect some big things out of Michael in 2024. And what are you the most excited about in the new year?
Honestly, right now, just I'm a relationship person. So that was also the biggest thing. I was stuck here in my office just working on my business with no interaction with anyone. That's just been killing me. So I'm all about building those relationships with, all of the other owners out there, or even just the additional, the coaches, and just having that additional, oh, I just blanked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, who's the seasoned one here?
Yeah.
Quite all right, Michael. Believe it happens to the best of us. But I wanted to tell everybody before we go that tickets are on sale for the Child Care Genius Live Conference, April 14th through 16th in Vegas. You're going to be one of the featured speakers there. Why should somebody attend?
Well, if anything, what I can bring to the table is business processes. So a lot of what I've noticed in a lot of childcare, there's tons of passionate owners that are they love the childcare industry. They love what they're being able to provide for the children. What I can help them out is if they're having any kind of business challenges or, things along those natures. Even if it comes to processes, procedures, softwares, different automation, that's kind of up my alley. So.
Well, I look forward to hearing you speak. You're going to be on stage during that conference, and you go to childcaregenius.com right now and get tickets. They're on sale, $100 off till the end of the year. So get your tickets today. We want you to say hi to Mandy for us. We thank you for coming on the podcast today. If somebody needs to reach out to you, they can email Michael, Michael, at childcaregenius.com, and I'd be happy to help them out.
Well, thank you, Brian and Carol. Thank you for having the faith in me. I appreciate it.
You bet. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Wow, he's a dynamic speaker. That was great.
Yeah,
So
I like
very
Michael. He's just a
knowledgeable.
nice guy. He's got a great wife, a great school, and a good program, and he loves helping people. And he's going to be doing calls, helping people. You could do a coaching call with him. He's going to be a certified coach here in March. And so if you need help in your childcare business, or you'd like a free coaching call with Michael, help you in any area of your business you might be struggling in, visit our website at childcaregenius.com. Under the coaching tab, select that like a free coaching call button. and you will get on the phone and have a coaching call with Michael. And you're guaranteed to come away with 2 or 3 items you can take action on right away to help you where you're struggling. So this concludes episode 72 of the Child Care Genius podcast. And this also concludes 2023. And we look forward to next year. Joy Maxwell is our first guest up for 2024. And we will see you with that. And thank you again for taking time out of your busy day to spend with us.
And just a reminder to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Child Care Genius community.